Casual Magic has been sponsored by Quiver, maker of the Quiver and Bolt deck cases and other fine deck holding accessories. Use the code CASUAL on their website for 10% off your order. We're also sponsored by Architect, the premier site for hosting your decks on the internet. I love them and they love me, and it seems like a good reason for you to use them. You can also support Casual Magic directly by going to our Patreon at patreon.com/ShivamB. And now, on with the show. Hello and welcome to Casual Magic, the show where we talk about the fun side of Magic the Gathering. My name is Shivam, Bhatt, and Casual Magic is brought to you by Architect and Quiver and my patrons at patreon.com/ShivamB. Today, I am super stoked and super lucky to have one of Magic's rising artists on my show. A person who's, I don't know, you just do really cool, evocative art that looks really sick, so it's super fun, I guess. Justine Jones, who is like, I don't know, I've run into you at a bunch of cons and it's super fun. And your art feels like a combination of comic book art from like the 70s and like early D&D art, but with like modern vibes to it. And also like super creepy line drawings.
I think that's like a really good description of a lot of my influences coming together into a thing.
Yeah, because like, first off, thank you so much for joining me. I'm a huge fan.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, like I love seeing you at all the various shows and getting your medal token that comes out. And I'm bummed that I'm going to miss whatever it is at Las Vegas. But yeah, dude, your art is like sick and very, in a world where a lot of people have a critique that magic art feels very samey, yours stands out incredibly vibrantly because it's so different.
Well, thank you.
It's sick, man.
Sometimes I feel a little weird, like a little self-conscious because my stuff is so different than everything else. But now, I don't know, they're starting to have a lot more
variants.
Like stuff not exactly like my art, but like, you know, like line-based art and just so many different styles now that I don't feel as like a weird outcast.
Right. I mean, like when you think about magic art in the early days, it was just like a hodgepodge of what's here, just throw it in there, who cares? And then it slowly homogenized and became like there's a house style, and then it became a very polished house style. And it feels like in the past, let's say 4 or 5 years, they've started really loosening the reins on what's allowed. Yeah. Like between you and Wiley Dufresne, I don't remember.
Wiley Tucker?
Yeah, Wiley Tucker. Oh no, well then, and like. Because like that's like hella, you know, evocative, very like vibrant artwork. It feels like just the art style has become less controlled and more like they're willing to let you guys do the thing you're good at, which is awesome.
Well, they're doing more alternate art stuff actually, like ever since Secret Lair. I feel like Secret Lair was them like dipping their toe into being able to use different art styles, and now it's just
Will
a
the
regular
audience like
thing.
this?
Yeah, now it's just a regular thing that they'll do like extra showcase art or alternate arts. I mean, Secret Lair has been an ongoing thing, but they did let me into some main set cards too, which was really exciting. I don't know if they'll do that again, but
I mean, cool. I'm just looking at it, I'm like, whoa, I didn't realize you had done so few cards because I'm just so used to seeing you all over the place all the time. And like your cards are just, when you see them in a game, you remember them. So, but like, my introduction to you is, I think, the same as most people's introduction, which is when Secret Lairs were introduced as a class initially, like literally the first ones that came out with Eldraine. Yeah. Yours was in that initial batch of Secret Lairs?
Yeah, it was in the first drop.
And it was, go ahead.
Which was really weird because when I got asked to do it, Secret Lair wasn't a thing. Yeah. So I was really confused.
You were like, what are you asking me to do?
Have you seen my art before? Do you know, like, it's not going to look like what magic art normally looks like now? And they were like, yeah, like people really like the Amano art style, like when we did those cards. So, and I'm like, well, I'm not a mono. different levels here, but it worked out.
That's a hell of a cool comparison, though, right?
I was like, not worthy of that comparison.
Yeah, like if somebody is putting me in the same breath as a mono, I'm going to do whatever they want me to do.
But yeah, no, it's really cool, and I was really excited about it because I like grew up looking at the older Magic cards, and I always loved all the different styles. And the house style of Magic is amazing. Like
Yeah, I
people are
love it.
so talented, just
Folks like Pancoast and
crazy.
things like that.
Yeah, it's amazing what they do. But I really like seeing more stylized stuff, and it's nice to have more variety. So it's been really cool.
So let's before we delve into your cards, so when did you start like really drawing? What are your influences? Like, because like I said, you do look very like I'm looking, for instance, at this original Secret Lair, which had Reaper King, Sliver Overlord, and the Ur Dragon, which is now
Yeah.
worth like infinite $1 trillion.
Well, I think it went down a little bit because there was the reprint, but it might have gone back up
Yeah, but then
again.
Tarkir came out, and suddenly everybody
Yeah.
wants the Ur Dragon again, and yours looks like a Trapper Keeper,
It's
in
just
the
not
best way.
it's not the one ring levels of
Well,
craziness.
that's dude. You want to know the wildest thing in the world? So I was the other like right before Chicago or one of these Magic cons. I was just digging through some random cards in my house because I was looking for a card to sell or just get rid of or whatever, and I opened a random pre-con, not pre-con, a random a box that was from a
Yeah.
pre-release kit, and I was just like flipping through. I'm like, what's even in here? I don't even remember these cards, and I get to the back and I see a foil version of your poster One Ring, and I was like, and then I looked through and there was another One Ring, and then there was like, I'm like, did I just put a whole collector box of Lord of the
That's
Rings in this random pre-con
crazy.
and then shove it behind my printer for 8 months?
Well, like, yeah, that the foil version is worth like $600 or something right now. It's
Yeah,
crazy. I don't own any of them because
it
I'm not gonna.
it
It's
paid
really
for my trip.
expensive.
Let's say
Nice.
it was a find that I was not sad to find behind, and I was like, I need to like lift rocks in my house more. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Where am I putting these things? I
People
have like
ask
the
me
mhm.
every day if like I get emails like every day about artist proofs and prints, which I can't make prints and I don't have artist proofs. I'm like, I wish I had artist
Yeah,
proofs.
you
Like,
you
jeez.
would be doing real well.
But yeah, sadly, not the case.
Okay, well, like of none of your stuff, you don't have artist proofs.
Oh no, so we don't get artist proofs for Universes
Well,
Beyond.
yeah, because the licensing is all weird, isn't
Because
it?
exactly because of all the contracts they have to go through with the copyright holders. Like it sucks for us. I do understand that that's like a lot of negotiations that they're going through. But yeah, like it would be cool. It'd be cool to
Yeah,
have artists for something One
it
Ring.
would be real cool if you had a One Ring poster artist proof. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. Uh, but like, so when did you start drawing, or like, how did you get to this style? Because it is very unique.
um. So I've been drawing since I was like a
I feel
toddler.
that's a dumb question. I guess like, hey, artist, when did you start arting? I guess more realistically is like, how did you come onto this style of art?
So it's really weird to me. I've never thought about it ever
Mm.
in my life. I never thought that I had like a style. It's just like how I draw. I guess I think more about it now because people talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
But I grew up reading comic books. I learned to read by reading comic books. I was obsessed with the X-Men.
Hmm.
Um, in the 90s, like
Same,
I
same,
was
same.
just like a huge comic kid. So I learned to draw by copying out of comic books. So that's where I guess the lines come from. Like I learned to do line-based art because that's what's in comics. It's like lines and then
Mm.
colors separately. So that I think that's like where the bones of my style came from. I also, as a kid, like my dad hung like Aubrey Beardsley prints in my room, so like black and white Art Nouveau. Um, which my mom said would make me deranged, but
Oh, I know
I
those.
think I did
Yeah,
okay.
that is some. Those are some wild choices to make for a child.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't any of the weird stuff. It was more like the Arthurian
Yeah, sure, but
illustration.
it's still like it is very evocative.
Yeah.
I love
Um,
that kind of art. I love Art Nouveau a lot. I think
yeah.
it looks really elegant.
But growing up I always did line work. Like I
Mm.
never used color ever. I actually I tried to go to art school, but I couldn't afford it. I went to community college for a few years
Mm.
and I dropped out of color theory class in community college like two times because I hated it so much. Um, but eventually I kind of thought I was like, I can never do this professionally if I don't start using color, which isn't true, but in my mind that was the case. So I started practicing and I started looking at like the old Katsuya Terada illustrations for like Nintendo Power,
Yes.
the like
The Legend of
uh
Zelda stuff.
yeah, exactly, that are like very colorful and the colors aren't always like, they're not natural colors. It's more like psychedelic colors. And also
Yeah, dude, because like Terada did some of the original artwork for like the old Legend of Zelda comics and stuff that were in
yes,
Nintendo Power, and it's just like those were the things I would like cut out of my magazines and hang on the wall, or like in the Link to the
exactly.
Past thing. Like, oh my god, just
And then P. Craig Russell's Elric, the Dreaming City,
I
like
read that story.
specifically, the colors in this graphic novel are just so weird. And it just, I realized that like you don't have to color things how they are in real
Right.
life. Like, so I started experimenting more and my colors just,
God, very psychedelic.
yeah, come from that. Like, I'm honestly very bad at color. I don't know very much about color. Um, so people are like, I love your colors. I'm like, thanks. The secret is to like not know what you're
The
doing.
secret is to pick crayons that
I
look nice.
I just know what I like when I see it.
I
So
mean, that's really
yeah.
all it should be, right? Like when you're writing or when you're making art, it's like, hey, does this thing look cool to me? Good
Yeah.
enough. So like, let somebody else. I mean, it's my critic. It's like leave it to the critical people and the people who want to think about it to figure out why you did this. But just do the thing. Like I'm looking at your Ur Dragon, which is one of my favorite paintings you've
Oh,
done,
thank you.
and it's just like first off, it's all pinks and oranges and purples and like just colors that you don't normally see on a magic card. But like when you look at it in the context of this old grizzled dragon that you've drawn here, it really does evoke like this is the thing that all the dragons came from.
Yeah.
And like,
Well, my thought for the Ur Dragon was, so the original card, it's like a golden color, but
yeah,
I was like, what if this gold and yellow is like a more reflective,
mm,
prismatic thing? So it is gold, but at the same time, it's reflecting all of the colors
yeah.
of its surroundings, um, which I think worked out well for the image.
I want to talk about that secret layer, but first, like, did you have familiarity with magic before?
Oh yeah. So I collected magic cards as a kid, but I didn't play because I didn't know anyone who played, so I didn't know how to play. I just thought the art was cool. So I have like, I don't know, like Ice Age
Mm,
cards and uh nothing that's worth anything, but a lot of stuff from the 90s just because I like the way it looked.
mm,
And then as like a young adult, I learned how to play. So probably like trying to remember, like mid 2000s is
mm.
when I actually learned how. But I hadn't played for a while when I got the like email.
Yeah, but like, what were you doing before? How did you get their attention?
um
Because like I'm always
well,
interested in like seeing like because these art directors go to weird places to find
yeah.
artists for these things. So I'm just very curious, like how what were you doing that caught their attention? Do you know?
Yes. So basically I was not really a professional artist. Like I mean, like I guess part time.
Mm,
I would like sell little mini comics at conventions and like prints and stuff.
sure.
But at my actually at Baltimore Comic Con, not anywhere else. I was like not traveling around to conventions.
Mm.
And I just post stuff on Instagram and I sell stuff on Etsy. Like I used to sell t-shirt designs. Like I
Oh,
had
cool.
like a Dark Souls t-shirt design that did really well. Uh, and I think the old creative director for Magic, she had one of my black light posters that she had bought. It was like this screen printed, like weird fantasy, like witch on a dragon thing. And I think she was familiar with my art from like different places on the internet. And I don't know why she picked me to be,
That's,
but
I mean,
I'll
that,
forever be grateful.
I mean, when you look at those first secret layers, they were all over the place, right? Like,
Yeah,
there was this weird psychedelic set of ponders that looked just like real drug paraphernalia.
those
There
were
was
really
like Elena
cool.
Danner's Snowlands and stuff,
Yeah.
and your Trapper Keeper Dragons. Like, and I don't, again, I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just
No,
like
I'm not offended.
that's like what evocatively that, like, your art just reminds me of my childhood so much in like a very specific way,
Oh,
you
well,
know?
thank you.
And like, I don't know, I just, that's why I'm like, oh, this stuff is so cool. This stuff is so cool. Um, so did they come to you and say like, we want you to draw these cards, or did they let you pick?
Well, I don't, generally they never let you pick unless, I guess now if you get your own secret layer, I
Yeah.
think people are able to pick, but back then and
They're,
usually they come to you with their own suggestions. So, yeah, she emailed me and was like, "Hey, can you like do these things in this amount of time?" And she didn't tell me what I had to do yet, but at first I was like, "No, that's impossible. I can't do that." And my partner was like, "Well, you have to do it." I was like, "You're right. I do have to do it." So I said yes, and then I did it. But yeah, then she told me the
what it
different
was.
cards I was doing. And honestly, I wasn't super familiar with any of those cards because I used to play, but I didn't play Commander. Like I didn't know
Mm.
what Commander was. Um, I had only done like drafting and like I guess standard.
Sure.
Um, so I'm kind of glad that I didn't really know much about the cards because I would have been really stressed out and I was already really stressed out.
It's like, hey, these are expensive cards that haven't been reprinted in decades.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah,
also
like,
I was very it's like a very lucky, like I am very lucky like to get those as my first cards. Like
yeah.
I am very grateful and it's
I mean, dude, it catapulted you to
crazy.
everybody's attention, right?
Yeah.
Like, dude, first off, I mean, all three of these cards have, like, for me personally, like, just a ton of resonance. Like, the Reaper King was when I first discovered what Commander was at my local shop, and I went and I tried the storekeep handed me his Reaper King deck. So I was like, the first deck I got to play in paper in Commander. Sliver Overlord's a card that I used to play as a kid. That's like, I've always wanted to own. Dragon is literally the Dragon, and I'm a dragon junkie. So I was like, oh my god, I need to have this specific set of cards. And like the other secret layers of that came out at the time were like goblins or serum visions and bitter blood, things that I didn't care about. But
I
like
would love
this
to do
one,
those too.
like, dude,
I like fairies, so
I think
I like blue
uh,
black.
your fairies would be really creepy. I think.
I would like to do some fairies if someone wants to give me
But like, I don't know. I just thought, I'm like, holy crap! This just feels like it feels like a specific era of art that I hadn't seen in a very long time, and I was like, this is sick.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
like, what do you think? Like, how have you felt about the reception? Like, people just love these things.
Uh, I'm it's really crazy to me. Like I'm very grateful, but it also it doesn't feel real that so many people like them and that people are so nice
Your
about
lines
them.
get very long.
Yeah. And that feels weird. I mean, in a good way, like I'm so grateful that anybody would stand in a line or like want me to write my name on something.
Tell me
But
about it.
at the same time, it's like I feel weird and bad about it because it kind of feels bad to have people standing in line for like 2 hours for you to write. I'm like, I don't I'm not like a celebrity or a famous person. Like I don't feel like it should ever feel normal
Dude,
to
let me
have
tell
or
you,
good.
as somebody who is a theoretic celebrity in this space, it doesn't. When I remember in Vegas or whatever, in Chicago, this most recent one, like I had a signing, and they wouldn't let us in early for our signing, so I had to and it was
Yeah.
the first thing in the morning, so I had to run to go get to my booth. And I sit there, and there's like a long line of people, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, what are you guys waiting for? And
They're
one of the
waiting
dudes
for
turns to me and he's
you.
like, you?
Yeah.
Like, me? What the hell? Why are you?
It just it I mean it's amazing and
It's so
everyone's
weird.
so wonderful, but also it's just
It's
like I'm
overwhelming.
just a little guy. I'm
Right?
not I'm not Madonna. I'm not so
Did
I feel bad when people have to wait in line. I'm like, oh, we should be handing them out snacks or like they should have chairs.
Did you see what Elena Danner does though? It's like the
Oh
coolest
yeah,
thing in the
her
world.
thing. We're trying to figure out if
Like,
we can implement it, but we're not really sure if it would work as well for us. That's the thing I've been talking about with my agent.
yeah, like just
But
handing
yeah,
out
it
cards and
worked
say,
really
come
well
back
for
at
her.
11.
Yeah.
She's
I'd
so
like
cool.
to figure out something so that people don't it just I mean
Give
it's like
people
they're
games.
there. I want them to be able to like experience the convention, not just stand in a line. Though it's cool because it's like really posy in the line. Like they're all like
Oh,
making
everybody's happy to be
friends
there. And everybody's
and
happy to
like
talk to each other.
yeah, they're like meeting people and having a good time. So that's
See,
cool.
what people need to do is start making like little mini games to just hand out to the people in the lines.
Yeah.
Like, here, do a crossword puzzle while you wait or whatever. Or like
Yeah.
a word search or something. Like, I don't know. I think it would be just, oh, that would be funny. Like, here's some blank papers. Draw me a token while you wait for me to draw you a token. Oh, that's actually kind of sick. But that being notwithstanding, though, it's always fun to just pop by and see like what you're doing and say hi. Like, I like to abuse my privilege a little and just kind of dodge around the lines because I don't want anything signed. I just want to like
Yeah.
just say hi and move on, let you get on with your busyness.
Well, I'm like jealous because I never get to, it's like I'm just there for 9 hours or
You know, you
however
could
long the
leave.
convention
You can
is.
make Donnie sit there and go and take a
No,
walk.
because if I do that, there will be people waiting for me and
That's their
standing in a line.
prerogative.
And I just don't want to make the people
Like
stand in
I
line
have
longer.
I dedicated a day, dude. I waited for like 2.5 hours for Magali in Amsterdam, and it was worth it. It was
Yeah.
100% worth it. It was weird because people kept coming up to me to get things signed, and I'm like, bro, I'm in line. But yeah, I don't know. It just like the thing is though. So after you did the secret layers, did they called you back for Forgotten Realms to do the alt cards? And I thought this was such a perfect use for you because like your style feels like an first edition D&D manual. So having you do
Yeah.
things like an Illithid and a Beholder and a Zorn, I was like, oh my god, this is the perfect marriage of art and a theme.
Well, I got that job because I have been working for Cobalt Press on their Patreon zine,
Mm.
which was called Warlock. I have one. So,
Oh, that's a really cool looking, just
yeah, we would do black and white. It was like everything was supposed
it's
to
like
look
an
black and
Ashcan.
white, old school. And also Phil Stone also did stuff on it, who did a lot
Mm.
of the same
Yeah.
like Forgotten Realms cards. Um, but yeah, I think that Wolfgang, who runs Cobalt Press, he's friends with the people at Wizards, and
Isn't that
they
like
picked a
Wolfgang
lot of people
Bauer?
from that. Hmm?
Wolfgang Bauer or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know him from lifetimes ago when I was big in the TTR space,
Oh,
in the
cool.
tabletop space. We have friends in common stuff because, but
Awesome.
anyways, that's not the point. But yeah, like it just felt like such a perfect fit for you because you just feel like D&D artwork.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, I mean, now I have a D&D cover, which
isn't that the
is
sickest thing in the world?
it's like
It's so
it's really
cool.
crazy. Yeah, it
What book was that for?
so it's for Dragon Delves, which
Oh, the new one
comes
that just came out, right?
yeah, it hasn't come out yet. It comes out in July, I think, but you have to if you want my cover, you have to pre-order it now at your local game store.
Yeah, well, whenever this comes out, they will have probably past that window. Also, the
Yeah.
dragon you drew on the cover of that just looks so cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was
I
so
should.
I was asked to make it look like a black light poster, so a lot of the choices I made, are like leaning into that, and a lot of people have been like said it looks like that. So I think I hit
Yeah,
my
it
ask.
100% does.
Uh,
It hangs in a hot topic.
originally I wanted to do a black dragon, but it just ended up the red dragon working for the cover. And I wanted it to call back to the Dragon a little bit because the Dragon was like the first card I finished for Magic.
Mm.
And
Like the
so
way
like
the
my
wings are
first,
shaped feel
yeah,
like that.
my first big Wizards piece. So I don't know. I was like, that was my first thing, and now I have this cover, and I want to call back to that other dragon.
It also has kind of that same same feel that your poster card for Lord of the Rings did.
Yeah,
Like there's
actually,
that big eyeball frame around it.
that was one of the visual inspirations in my art direction. I basically took, actually, if you saw all the visual inspirations, I feel like I hit my ask really well because I literally just like mushed a bunch of things together to make a new, totally different looking thing. Yeah, I think they showed me the Dragon, Sauron, colored Ganax, and something else that I can't remember. But it I think I did it pretty well.
Oh, you hella did. It looks so sick.
So I'm really proud of it. And yeah, I made it because it's supposed to be like a blacklight poster. I was thinking more like design wise. So it's kind of like it is an illustration, but it's more of a design, like a symmetrical, like eye catching thing.
Yeah, it feels like something that I would have hung on my wall in high school.
Yeah.
Like it just I think it's so cool looking. Like
Thank you.
I mean, I know we just spent like 10 minutes talking about how you don't know anything about colors, but your colors are so bold and cool that it's just like, come on.
I know more about color now because of like, but yeah, I'm not a color master by any means.
Yeah, but like I mean, I guess that's the upside of all the Forgotten Realms cards being in black and white mainly. It like really is just like, go ahead and draw whatever you want.
I love black and white. Like I love line work. If I can do like the most detailed, like if I can take my time and do just the most detailed, like weird character, that's like really what I love to do. I love just black and white, super detailed, just make a weird guy.
I mean,
Zorn.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the hell that Zorn is doing, but like,
he's like,
it's just like he looks like he's about to split into two Zorns, and I'm like, I don't want that. I don't like any part of that. But like your art for something that's so liney and stark and stuff, it just feels like it's dripping. It feels like it's all just like oozy and bubbly and gross and like for instance, I look at your card Horrific Assault that you did for MH3, and it's just like, oh, that really is horrific. That really is horrific.
Well, thank you.
It's a messed up looking card.
I love textures and I like rendering textures. And actually for both Horrific Assault and what was the other one? Glimpse the Impossible. I do have to give props to Ovidio, who was my art director. I feel like
so cool.
Yeah, he gave me a lot of tips that like really put things over the top. Mostly color wise, actually. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, coloration wise, they still feel like what medium do you work in?
So I like to do all of my inks traditionally. It doesn't always end up that way because of deadlines now. Yeah. Ideally they'd all be traditional, but now it's kind of like a mix of traditional and digital. And then my colors are digital.
Yeah, because like your colors just feel like honest to God, they feel like color pencil, and in a way that's just super unique. And like, I don't mean that. I mean, again, not trying to be derogative. I'm just like, this is what it reminds me of. It feels like somebody with very expensive color pencils is just going to town on this. And I'm like, this is so sick. It's so cool looking. Oh, also, I loved your fireball that you did for AFR, which with like the skeleton just going, oh no.
Yeah. He kind of looks like he's having a good time.
Yeah, he's just like, wee.
Those are really fun. Well, that's not AFR. That was for
Baldur's Gate, whatever.
Baldur's Gate, which were really cool because it's just we had no idea like how huge that game was going to be.
Right.
And it's really cool that I got to do so many really awesome characters.
Karlach,
Karlach
everybody's
was not
waifu.
in the game at all when I drew her. She wasn't even finished being designed. They gave me a character design. I drew her sketch, and then they gave me another character design where actually, can you make it look more like this? And it looked totally different.
Oh no.
So I made her look in between the two, and thankfully she ended up looking like the version that I did. Because she
Yeah, you
actually
got
did
hella
not
characters.
she did not end up looking like the second character design they gave me at all, which is how the colored version,
Mm.
they were obviously changed it to look like the second character design. If you look at it, you can tell like
Well, maybe
there's
you
like
can tell.
there's certain differences between it and how she looks in the game.
Okay, well, I haven't gotten to her in the game yet, so
Oh,
I
really? I
I
played as her in the game. Actually, her voice actors came and said hello to me at
that's sick.
Chicago. Yeah, we took a photo. And
I spent
she told me that she didn't have very many like visual references, and my art was like one of the things she looked at while she was doing the voice lines, and I was like,
nice.
ah, that's so cool.
Yeah, I spent like 15 hours in the character creation and then 10 minutes in tutorial, and I was like, I'm tired of this.
Oh, well, get ready to spend like 300 hours in the actual game. And
Yeah,
maybe still not be done with it.
apparently they're coming out with a new or have come out with a new content patch that's going to be changing a whole ton of stuff. And I'm like, cool, that'll be a great time for me to actually start playing the game again. But I'm
It's
playing
just
Civilization. I'm too
a
lazy.
lot of game.
Yeah, that's what I've
It's
heard. It is
really
a
good.
lot of game.
It's really good, but there's just so much.
Well,
Yeah.
it was supposed to have come out day and date with Baldur's Gate, the card set. And then
Yeah,
it got pushed back a year. And the
did not
Baldur's Gate
work
card set just like flopped. And then suddenly the game comes out and is literally the best game of, the decade. And everybody's
Yeah,
running back like, oh my God, I got to get Baldur's Gate. It's like, buddy.
it's really funny.
Yeah. But you drew like a lot of characters from that, like Ball and Raphael and Nine Fingers Keen, etc.
Yep. And Shadowheart, Lae'zel.
Shadowheart was my preview for that set.
Awesome.
Yeah, that card rules.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. I mean, God, I love that. I thought Baldur's Gate was really, really cool. What the hell? I'm staring at Baldur's Gate cards and I just totally lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah. So one of the things though that they did ask you to do that was a little controversial, but also very unique was the poster art ones for Loader. There was like these weird hyper rare cards that came out in the collector's edition that really did look like 1960s black art posters.
Yeah.
What was that like? How did you get there?
So I feel like a lot of younger people don't understand.
Like they don't like you didn't have Hot Topics
of these cards. I'm like, you don't understand that when like we were kids, the Lord of the Rings movies didn't exist.
No.
You would go to like a head shop or something.
Right.
And it would be like these psychedelic posters.
And it would be like Bilbo smoking with the rings or whatever.
Right. Yeah. So that was like the art, or like, the old cartoons, which were also a little psychedelic.
Yeah. And all the covers of the books and stuff were just wibbly.
Exactly. So that's where the visual idea for these came from, was like harkening back to those posters that you'd see like when we were kids. And it's just really annoying to see all these kids be like, this doesn't look like Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings doesn't have to look like the movies. It used to look like the movie.
When we were young, Lord of the Rings looked like everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, I love the movies, but they're different. You can have different versions.
Yeah, it's okay.
Time existed before you.
Right? That's one of the things, like during Lord of the Rings, people are like, Aragorn can't be black. I'm like, why not? It's a book.
Yeah,
be whatever he wants to be. Who cares? Shut up.
It's so over goofy. Yourself. But no, like these were supposed to look like those old posters. And I was approached first to do Sauron.
Yeah.
And I only had basically, a week and a half to finish it.
Really?
So, okay. Sauron was the proof of concept for all of them. So I had to finish him super fast so they could like move forward, like get approval. because they weren't sure if they actually wanted.
Yeah, because
They just wanted to see how this would work. It was just like an idea they were going with. Thankfully, they liked him. Thankfully, I pulled it off. Um, but he's actually my favorite one I did, especially because it was the first one I got, and I was so excited to do a Lord of the Rings card that I put like so much into it.
The frame is exquisite.
Oh, thank you. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put like
the skeletons,
all the like orcs and like skeletons and goblins, and then like all the mortar stuff in the background, and yeah, I just had so much fun with it. And thankfully somehow pulled it off in the short time that I had. Because I remember they gave me 2 weeks to do it, but in that time I also was asked to color Ganax for the collector's edition booster packaging. So
for Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. So it was like, I guess I'll do this. But it worked out. And then later I got the commissions for the One Ring and Mordor.
Mount Doom.
Mount Doom. Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
I was thinking of Mordor because, okay.
Yeah.
I was disappointed to get Mount Doom because I had put so much Mordor stuff in Sauron that I was like, oh, how am I going to do it? But I think it looks pretty cool.
I personally, Mount Doom is my favorite of them.
Oh, thank you.
Because it just looks the coolest. The One Ring
is a lot of fun.
I have a lot of weird association with the One Ring just because I hate the card. But that's not your fault. That's the One Ring.
I won't make any comments about how I feel about the One Ring because it like other people love it, and I'm glad that people really love it.
Yeah, I'm just saying like that should have come with some. When anybody has a One Ring in the movies, bad things happen. Come on, why is it just all good? Anyways, that's a design problem, not my problem.
I have nothing to do with it.
But yeah, like also. You did one of the coolest things ever, which is at the first MagicCon, they released a Secret Lair special edition Shivan Dragon, didn't they? Or was the Shivan Dragon part of the different one?
So, no, that's different. So, my Shivan Dragon was part of...
Oh, it was part of the 30th anniversary.
Yes, the countdown.
Mm-hmm. Which is also, I have 2 of those. I like it a lot. But yeah, it looks so cool.
Oh,
what was your influence there?
So, I mean... My main influence was the original Shivan Dragon, which is like one of the most iconic Magic cards to me. The Melissa Benson art, yeah, it's just so cool. It reminds me of like Flight of Dragons, like the Rankin Bass animation style, which was one of my favorite movies as a kid. So like I wanted to take all of my favorite parts of her artwork and like do it in my style. So that's why, I mean, same like colors, basically like green with like the twinkling stars in the background. I really like how the original Shivan Dragon's like tummy is very like rubbery and segmented.
Yeah.
And so I made sure to do that.
Yeah, like I'm looking at them I'm looking at them side by side, and yeah, you really can see like the horns are there, and there's the face frills, and the tongue is stick. Yeah, you really did. Even down to the claw kind of coming to the camera. I
had a lot of fun. Shivan is one of my favorite dragons that I've done for sure.
Mean, it's one of my favorite cards ever. So I was like, I don't know, because they took this artwork that you did and they put it on the T-shirts that they gave to all of us in the first year of the ambassador program.
And they didn't give me one. I'm like, come on.
I remember I wore it and you saw it and you're like, where did you get that shirt?
But no, it was really cool and it looked sick on the shirt.
Yeah, like I remember the first time we met, you were like, my art's on a shirt? When did that happen?
Well, actually, that happened to me recently with another artist. Heroes and Villains sent me a bunch of their cool new dragon shirts. And I showed one of them to another artist who like had done the dragon on the shirt, and they were like, what?
I didn't get one.
I'm like, oh, you should get one.
Speaking of dragons, dude, the dragons that you did in Tarkir, whatever the hell it's called,
Dragon Storm.
Dude, I've been saying like Dragons of I've said like 38 different things for it because I just cannot get it in my head. Yeah. But Your Jeskai Shrinekeeper is incredible.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
I,
that one's cool
I like the
because
circle.
it's like uh I don't know, I made it more illustrative and like less
Yeah.
of a traditional dragon, and I got to do that one's like very my style. Um
Yeah, it
it
is.
was fun to interpret that like very like different looking dragon design. And also to see how is it Andrew who did the other one?
Yeah, Andrew Marr did the
Yeah,
first one.
yeah. It's cool to see like how he interpreted his and like
Yeah, his
how
looks
they
super
look
cool.
like.
It's
Yeah.
got this Dilophosaurus, like that
Yeah.
duck-billed dinosaur head,
Yeah.
and it looks really, really cool. Yours has like the big giant nose horn that I like a lot,
Yeah.
and I like it. It feels like it's got feathers, so it looks really sick.
It's like fuzzy. It's like a fluffy.
But like your Storm Shriek Feral feels like the most dragony dragon that you've drawn.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that one they showed me the normal art for it
Mm,
as like the normal card art. That was my like visual. So I had to like reinterpret that.
sure.
And that one is very dragony, but I obviously wanted to like do it in my
What do you
style.
prefer? Do you prefer having like a reference that you have to kind of emulate, or do you like to have like freer reign?
I like I like it's hard to say because I don't really like having to stay really close to someone else's
Mm,
drawing because I feel like it holds me back from what I might do. But if it's like here's kind of what it looks like, but you can do whatever you want with it, that would be my ideal
mm,
thing. Um, which is kind of what I did with the Baldur's Gate cards.
mm.
I made sure that you could recognize it as that character, but I stretched things a little bit. Um,
Yeah, like your Lazel looks
yeah.
different from the normal one or the one in the card, but it still looks like Lazel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't shown the normal card art for that one either. I
Were
just
you
like
shown like a render from the game?
yeah.
Mm. Man,
And
that must have
also
been a good one.
I was able to Google because she was in the game, Shadowheart was in the game.
Mm,
Um, Raphael was in the game, but he wasn't a full demon. So
mm,
my version, he only has two horns because at the time he only had two horns. But in
mm.
the final game, he has like four horns. So
Yeah, well, you know what are you gonna do? It's fine. The card is cool, so that's all that matters. But yeah, you also I recently discovered you got to work on frames for cards too.
oh
Like you
yeah,
did the
yeah.
ultra art frames for Dragonstorm, which I think look amazing. But
Thank
you
you.
did for a set before too, didn't you?
My this was like a long time ago. It was like one of my I think it was my second thing that I did for Magic. Um, were the Innistrad Midnight Hunt frames. Yeah.
Which ones for the werewolves?
Yeah.
So what was that like? Like, how, did they come to you and say like, we want you to use your line art and make horror
Yeah.
frames?
Well, it was confusing because I never exactly done anything like that
Right,
before. And I just had to figure out I like did sketches on like a template of the
like a
card to
magic
try
card.
and make it fit. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, because I'm just curious, like, how do you make a frame that's like evocative but doesn't like cover the card?
it's
You know?
very hard. And actually my original sketches for that did cover the card a little
Mm,
bit. But
yeah.
they changed it a lot, but most of my original line work is still there. I think I had like a big pumpkin or something, and they were
Yeah.
like, no.
Yeah, it's like that's power and toughness space. We can't have a pumpkin. Uh
um, it's
did
really hard. I'm better at it now because like I kind of know what I can do. But I also love doing frames and I love doing decorative designs. That's like just one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, so like do you have to do it in all the colors or do you just do it in one and then they
Mm-mm.
go and color them?
So for the Dragonstorm ones, I didn't do any of the color. Actually, neither of them I did color. It was
Mm,
all just the line work. And my art director Dalton, he's the one who did the colors for the Dragonstorm.
Yeah, because like the
And he did
Dragonstorm
an
colors are
amazing,
so
amazing job.
cool.
They're so cool, and it makes me mad because I'm like, I love the purple so much. I'm like,
Oh
oh, I
yeah.
wish I did a black one. I wish I had my art on one of the purple ones.
Yeah, but it looks so cool though, because like
It's really cool.
I mean, your art really lends it. I mean, props to the colorist because this is insane. I'm looking at like
Yeah,
all of them next to each other, and just
that's what
the
I keep
detail.
saying. Dalton's like, oh, he's like so shy about it. I'm like, no, you like killed it. It looks so
Yeah,
good.
but like, I mean, just look at the shading. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous. Like, there's because here's the thing. We keep talking about the fact that you do detailed line work. You do insanely detailed line work. There are a lot of nooks and crannies that need to be
yeah.
colored in here, and that must have taken a very long time. And then have to color balance them for 5 different or 6 cards because there's even a colorless one in there. That's nutters. Well,
Yeah, it's
7 because there's
crazy.
gold ones too. Why not?
And they look amazing.
They look
So
insane.
they did an amazing job.
Like I am very. There are some frames that I think look incredible, and some frames that I'm like, like this is not what I want out of a Magic card. But these ones, dude, they feel fantasy as hell, and they're so sick, and like they just fit the card incredibly well.
Thank
Like,
you. Yeah, they're like one of my favorite things that I've done for Magic. They just turned out so good.
didn't you say that one of the drawings you did with the frames that you made in mind?
Well, all of them. Yeah, because if you don't with a frame this detailed,
Mm.
if you don't take into account how your art is going to look inside of it, it can become so messy. And also, because the frame is colored, you have to make sure your colors aren't clashing. Because you could be doing something like I mean, it's a red card, you did red colors, but that red could be clashing with the shade of red on the frame. So it's really important, I feel like, when you have a decorative frame to do your art inside of the frame, at least at some point.
Mm.
But yeah, the reason all of mine have a very like kind of unexciting background, I would say. Like it's just like like kind of like
Yeah,
not busy.
it's very simplistic compared
It's
to like.
because I wanted the dragon to really stand out. And if you have this really decorative frame, if I did a really busy background or a lot of detail in the background, you completely like lose everything and the visual effect isn't there. But if you have that kind of like stark background, then
Yeah, like
the
I've
dragon
got
just like
the foil
exactly.
breaching Dragonstorm here,
Yeah.
and like exactly right. Like the background is this nice muted orange color, which allows the frame to stand out and the dragon to stand out without fighting against
Exactly.
each other.
It's kind of they were actually kind of annoying to work in, but in the end, I think they were able to make like the image really pop.
Yeah, these are like the
And
first like from frame treatment since Kamigawa that I want to collect because they just look sick. They look so cool.
thank you.
Like I'm just impressed that you've done so much with your body of cards is so small compared to like and like how did you like but they're just so iconic and so like sick. If they let you draw whatever you want, like if you got the Justine Jones Secret Lair, what would you want to put in it?
I don't know. Like I was saying, I'd like to do some fairies because I like to play fairies. Um, or rats.
I want to know
Um,
what your Alayla would look like.
yeah. I would love to do an Alayla. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say because, like, obviously I love drawing dragons, but I've done so many dragons already.
Yeah, but dragons
Um,
rule.
yeah, but yeah, I'd like to do fairies, like maybe like merfolk would be cool.
Mm.
I'd love to do if I'd love to be part of the next like Bloomborough thing that they do in
Oh my god, I
general.
don't know what your Bloomborough would look like. That would be
I
wild.
I guess if it can't be scary and everything has to be cute, then I can't be part of Bloomborough. But I want to do like a cool rat guy. Give me our little
Yeah,
rat guy.
I mean, I'm just trying to think like what would your Bloomborough look like? It would be wild. It would be like Bloomborough's like Lorwyn era, just like things got real messed up. I don't know. I think that's sick. Do you know what, like, have you thought about what your next tokens are going to be? Because like I like collecting them.
No, I'm not totally sure.
Because I collect
It's
soldier
always
tokens and
hard.
I need another soldier, and I don't have one from you. So if you want to drop me a soldier token, that would be super sick.
I'll keep it in mind.
Oh man, this is sick. Oh, and you got to do one for Aether Drift. I didn't
Oh
even realize
yeah,
it.
I did. Yeah,
Far
Far
Fortune.
Fortune.
That looks sick. That looks like graffiti almost.
Oh,
It looks
that was
cool.
it was weird because I don't normally do like modern. She's not exactly a modern day looking
But
person,
like,
but like
she looks a little Mad Max. Come on.
yeah. I mean, I never draw cars,
Yeah.
which I had to draw her truck, and I just like hid it behind her, behind some smoke.
Yeah.
I was like, it's there. But yeah, that kind of character is not the kind of character that I normally draw, but it was really fun, and I leaned into making her look more like Tank Girlish.
Yes. Yeah. That is exactly the reference.
Yeah.
I was like, I was thinking of like 1970s kind of like comic magazines and then like tank girly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. And like the
So
Molotov in her mouth just or the grenade or whatever it is.
I was worried about that artwork, but when I saw it on the card, it looks really good on the card.
It
I'm
looks
like
really good
very
on the
happy with
card.
it. Yeah.
It looks really, really cool.
I was just like, people are not gonna like this because it doesn't look like my other stuff.
Yeah, nobody cares. It's fine.
Yeah.
Dude, people are just excited to see more art from you. Like you've gotten into that spot where people immediately recognize your art from a mile away and it just looks sick. So everybody's really stoked to see it, which is probably a great place to be if you're an artist.
It's cool. As long as they keep asking me to do things,
yeah,
I will happily.
God, what would your basic lands look like? Can you have you ever tried to draw landscapes? What would that even be? I don't know.
I have one landscape for do I have I guess I don't have the full book anywhere, but I did a landscape for the cover of this book called Mazes. This is like the weird like they put out this really cool soundtrack for the game. Yeah, and the whole thing is a landscape, but I don't think I have the book near me. And that's like the one. Oh wait, that's not true. Halls of the Bloodkin cover is kind of a landscape.
Yeah, that's fair. And like you did you did like a City of Brass for one of the Wormwood books or whatever.
Yeah, for Warlock.
Warlock,
Brass, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it looks sick. Cool. Yeah, we should get them to make you draw lands. That would be super fun.
I'm like I don't really want to draw lands, but if they wanted.
Like a line art command tower though? Come on. That would look hella cool. You could make it look totally cool. Like creepy and like weird looking. It would be amazing.
Lands are just like hard because it's not my thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it could be cool.
I mean, if you make a land, then we could start playing artist decks. Have you seen? You've seen those like where they have one artist do every who's drawn every card in the deck. So
yeah,
it's a very neat and fun thematic deck. But anyways, this has been a super cool chat, man. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been fun.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I love seeing you at cons, and it's always great to stop by and talk to you. And we tried to play Magic one time, but cons, it's hard.
I could never. I'm always like too tired to do anything. I've only once played Magic at a MagicCon.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I'm like, I go there to cosplay a Magic player. That's what I do. I'm here to talk to people, not to do anything like that.
I'm like very introverted, so after I sit at my table and talk to like hundreds of people for 9 hours a day, I'm like, I need to go to my hotel room and just like stare at the wall for a little bit to recharge.
Yeah. I am a hyper extrovert and I need to do that after a MagicCon.
I'm like I'm really good at talking and I love talking to people, but it's all anxiety. It's not. I need to be by myself for a while.
Well, my friend, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been delightful. And if folks want to see your art or follow you somewhere, where can they go?
They kind of follow me on Instagram. It's TEAN_witch, or on Blue Sky, which I think is just the same thing with no underscore, I think.
And with that, my friends, you can find me at Shivam Bhatt on Blue Sky, and I'm starting to delve into Instagram and poke around other places, but I'm so lazy and old. But you can also hear me. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are sold, or at YouTube every Tuesday, thanks to my editor, Dan. You can also see me on Shivam and Wheeler Love Magic or the Chronicles of Dragonlance podcast. And remember, my friends, it's not magic without the gathering, and we'll see you next time.